I do need to start this episode, and this is really important. I need to start with an apology because there was a comment at the start of last week's episode, which, in hindsight, looking back, wasn't right. And we messed up here. We need to hold our hands up for it. So last week we did display this image. Now I claim there was 3 Latinas. It's actually thick Latinas. So massive apologies on that one. And yeah, I'm really just glad I got that off my chest.
Yeah, I think you really need to set a better example.
Yeah.
Like the example that I set for example. I think you need to match my standards.
And you see, it was your standard that got me in trouble on the main channel. So But look at you, you come smarter dressed today. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I just thought, you know what? I'm going to take lead today. I know Will's going to be a little bitch with the weather.
Do you want to do the intro then?
What do you usually say? You go like, hey guys, and welcome to Talk Shift. And now let's get some bullshit on your screen.
Yes, that's actually quite good. Nice. All right, good. Fair enough. I think we should just leave with that.
Why not?
Why not? Let's lead with that. Okay. So it's been a while, but I wanted to go back to the comments of last week's episode, right?
Yeah.
We haven't looked at YouTube comments in a while, and it's been drying out as a result of that, but we have had a few. So first comment from last week, 135, glad Soheb survived. I think that's in relation to the Air India crash, which I'm not allowed to talk about anymore because I got in a bit of trouble for making a joke about that earlier in the week. But yeah, I'm glad you're still here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm allowed to talk about that because it's a family matter.
Oh, okay. Good. Let's move on. Next one. Soheb is really rocking the Luigi shirt and Will is on his way to becoming Wario.
That could be, if we go to Comic-Con, you could be Wario.
Oh, good. We've gone from Eggman to Wario.
I mean, yeah, it's Eggman.
Where next? A Dalek? Slitheen? What was the really fat one that was played by Peter Kay in like the second series of Doctor Who?
Have you seen the movie The Whale?
The Whale. I'm losing weight, man.
Yeah, but until you do it, these comments will continue.
I am losing weight.
Yeah.
I'm under 90 kilos now for the first time in about 7 years.
Well, once you get to 80, then the comments will stop.
Right, well, it's taken 2 weeks to go down about 0.5 of a kilo. So, I mean, we're...
Oh, viewers, you're in for a lot of content.
So, by the time I am 80... Great, I'm just going to have to cut a limb off or something to hit those levels. Oh, right. Last comment, then.
You cut your dick off, but it wouldn't make any difference.
Thank you. Last comment. Maybe you should change the channel name from Talk Shifts to Talk Shit because you talk so much non-F1 shit. I think that has gone over this guy's head, over Harmental's head.
That's kind of the point.
Which a bit like the Air India flight, except it didn't go over many people's heads. So it landed on them instead.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on. So, on the subject of the Canadian Grand Prix comedy review, let's talk about Canada. I'm in 2 minds about this race. I gave it, I think, a 5 out of 10 in the end.
It was quite boring for the most of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Antonelli at the start making up the P3. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then not much for like the rest of the race.
And then the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the end was an interesting one. We might as well start with that. What's the Ayrton Senna quote? If you do not go for a gap that no longer exists, you'll no longer erase that. I'm getting that wrong. But basically, he tried to go for a gap that didn't exist.
Yeah, it's that. It was always closing. Oscar was on that side of the track. I don't really know what he's expecting, to be honest.
Yeah, it was just...
It was just a complete misjudgment.
It was a rookie error.
The thing with Lando this season, even part of last season, is that in the really high pressure moments, that's where he makes these mistakes. I mean... Overall, if you look at all the practice and qualifying sessions, I'm completely ripping this off the race. I will not lie.
Fine.
But if you look at all the practice and qualifying sessions, Lando is ahead in 32 out of 64.
Wow. So it is 50-50 in that regard.
And there's a lot of weekends where Lando has been ahead the whole weekend until he gets to the final laps of Q3, and then he bottles it.
And Canada was one of those. I mean, Oscar was making mistakes throughout, particularly FP3 when he hit the wall. That compromised him throughout the rest of Saturday, really. Q1, Lando was ahead. Q2, Lando was ahead, and by fairly considerable margins as well. And then Q3...
bottled both of his lap attempts.
Both of his laps. And it was a snowball effect, because you bottle the first one, and then all of a sudden the pressure ramps up even more,
Yeah.
which Norris can't
You,
deal with
you don't have a
already,
banker.
yeah, you're absolutely screwed. And it's becoming a massive issue now, because let's say in an alternate universe where Red Bull and Ferrari are competent this season,
Yeah.
McLaren could be in trouble. They could, Lando Norris could be a Sergio Perez,
That's for.
and that is frightening. The only reason that's not happening is because McLaren are so far ahead. But I mean, look at where he's currently qualifying in by far the fastest car on the grid.
I think with Lando, I do still think his peak is higher than Oscar. I think his raw pace is really, really good in qualifying, but I think that his ceiling is quite high, but his floor is also quite low. Whereas Oscar's floor is still quite high. His ceiling might not be as high, but it's not as much of a difference. His bad performances, still he recovers really well from them.
I don't know. I would have said that a few weeks ago about the whole ceiling thing, but I'm not. I'm not convinced now.
I mean,
I'm really not.
How do you explain Monaco then?
Street tracks. That's how I'm going to explain it.
So
Oscar Piastri in street tracks.
Perez.
He is. He's Sergio Perez.
No.
There we go.
Worse than death to being Sergio Perez.
Yeah, I mean, but Oscar, on a serious note, it does appear that street tracks are his weakness. He hasn't had that, or he hasn't got the confidence,
Yeah.
seemingly. Monaco was one, and now Canada, a similar boat, where he was off the pace at the start of the weekend, then made a mistake midway through the practice sessions, and that sort of stuck with him throughout this one.
Canada's not exactly a street track, though. It's technically a street track, but
It's technically a street track.
It's
but
a lot
you've
more
got,
of a race
walls
track.
in close proximity to the circuit.
I'd say it's a lot more of a racetrack than a street track.
The only circuit where Oscar has excelled, which is a street circuit so far this year, was Jeddah. And again, I think Lando was quicker that weekend before his crash in Q3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was. Again, Lando seemed to have the pace throughout that weekend. So no, I take it back. Oscar was quick, but Lando was still quicker on the street tracks. So it is, it is a Sergio Perez situation. Only, Lando was bottling it. It's a mess.
It's not too late for Lando to recover the season, though. He's only 22 points behind.
He is. No, you're right. And there are people saying that, it's over. And
it's not over.
I say that. I've literally just released a video called It's Landover. But it's not over, because there is over half the season left to go. That being said, it's a long, long mountain to climb. And the big thing with Oscar at the moment is he is so good at, when he does have a bad weekend, of just damage limitation.
I mean, he's qualified in the top 4 every single race. He's been so consistent, and he just stays there. He's been so consistent, and that is why he's leading the championship, because he's not really making mistakes. The only one you could say was in Australia, where he binned it off, but also Lando binned it off as well.
Yeah,
and it's kind of a bit unfair, because the rain was falling in and no one knew what the track characteristics was. So even that you could take with a pinch of salt.
Yeah. So we've spoken a bit about Lando, and I'm apologising in advance that I cannot seem to form an argument today. It is so hot in here. I cannot think straight.
How many times are you going to use that excuse, man?
A lot, basically. But thinking about the other surprises of the weekend, and I want to put on one that actually I don't think many people have thought about, because he kind of just fell into irrelevancy, which is strange for the person I'm about to talk about. But Isaac Hadjar was just, in fairness, Racing Bulls on a whole were nowhere around Canada when they've really been on an upwards trend over the last couple of races. So I know you've got a little bit on him as well, but that was a bit of an odd one for me. Not a complete season killer by any means. He's absolutely
He's having a fantastic
season. He has been by far the best rookie so far in 2025.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a bit of an odd one for him.
I mean, I didn't really pay attention to Hadjar's race. It was kind of, you forget about him, to be honest. He was one where you forget he's even there. But I think Racing Bulls have put in a very... Their year has been very consistent. Their performance window has been quite wide, it seems like, which is weird because it's based on the Red Bull that has a really small performance window. So it's a bit weird how Racing Bulls have a much bigger window. But I think having 1 or 2 Ferrari races is completely fine. because Hadjar is just putting such a good performance this year. It's just race in, race out. He does the work, gets his head down, and that's why Red Bull have very high praises for him, and they're threatening him by putting him in the Red Bull.
This is the thing. Like, it's like, you know, when you're at school and the worst sanction they can ever give you at school is to send you home for a few days.
Yeah.
And that's never really made sense to me. But it's the same thing here. If you're really, really good at VCARB, they send you to Red Bull where your career dies. So,
But they can't do that. They should have known, if you put a driver in that's had 1 year of experience, they're gonna suffer. Full stop. It's not going to work.
Alex Albon, Liam Lawson, and now potentially Isaac Hadjar. Because I this is the way I see it going. I think 2026, Tsunoda gets the boot, potentially even permanently, because I don't see why they put him back into VCARB. It's not really like a Lawson situation where he'd only been there for a handful of races and could go back. Same thing with, say, Gasly.
And they just gave Lindblad a super license.
Yeah, I think Lindblad is in a VCARB at some point next year.
Yep.
So I can see them putting Hadjar up into Red Bull. Sonoda gets dropped. I don't know where he goes. Potentially Cadillac, if it's not too late in the season. Otherwise, he ends up on the sidelines looking for a seat for 2027, which I think would be unfair because I think Tsunoda has got talent, and I think again it's just the Red Bull that's hiding that at the moment.
Yeah.
And then of course we have Lindblad in the VCARB, who he's alongside. This is the one thing. Do you keep Lawson there? Because I don't see that making sense
I don't
either.
see them keeping Liam, because Liam doesn't have anything to offer. He's done okay. He had some good performances in his makeshift appearances, but I don't think he seems to have a very high ceiling. He doesn't seem like he has a strong mentality. I liked him. I do like his personality. I used to, at least. He's a bit. He's changed a little bit since then, but I think he's a sports car driver in all honesty. I think
he was very good actually when he did have that brief foray into sports cars. Yeah, into DTM, and they had that championship. Yeah,
completely
stolen from him. Yeah, completely stolen. But you're right, and maybe then Tsunoda becomes the new Ricciardo, in that they send him back and he becomes a benchmark for new drivers.
Yeah, maybe.
But I don't really see the point. But also, I'm like, who else do you get in? I'm trying to think in Formula 2. Pepe Marti's in there, but I don't think he's ready.
Formula 2 is a really weird one because
this is the
thing. Because I used to watch Formula 2, but now I just don't care because it's not actually a representation of what the skill level is.
Yeah.
It's just whoever's car is the most reliable.
Basically, yeah. And even then, it's not even that. Like, look at Behrman and how absolutely dog shit he was in the Prema last year. Steps up into Haas or into that Ferrari in Jeddah and just is an absolute monster. Yeah. So it's such an odd one at the moment, and it does come in sort of time with this new Formula 2 car that we're going to be stuck with for realistically 6-7 years probably.
That's a pain.
It is painful, isn't it? I mean, we had the other one from 2018 to 2024, so yeah, what's that, 6 years? 2023. So,
all they need is a chassis that you can show your skill in, and an engine that is reliable. Yeah. That's all the only thing you need in that engine is for it to be reliable, and that's it.
And what did they do? They said, we need a reliable engine. Let's go to the French. Like, come on. Come on.
Dear.
It's an absolute mess.
Shall I show you my Hadjar bit then?
Yes, go on. You can say, you were talking, you scared me a little bit because, before we turned the cameras on, you said, I've got something on Hadjar. And I was like, okay, well, what is this? And you say, I didn't really look at Hadjar much in the race. I'm thinking, what's going on?
Well, Hadjar has been in
I think I do know what this is. Yes. We really like Isaac Hadjar now. If this is what I think it is.
Pov, you see someone fighting a pregnant woman, so you step in to make it a fair 2v2, liked by Isaac Hadjar.
Yeah, and there's a second one, isn't there?
When she spent an hour telling you about her childhood trauma, but you just want the peach emoji, liked by Isaac Hadjar. when
There's more. I've only seen those two.
when me and bro don't have a ride to the 2-man, so we low-key just stretch out our saggy ass ball sack like a flying squirrel and glide like a huzz house.
Like a what?
Like a huzz house, apparently.
A huzz house? What is a huzz house?
Who knows?
I'm going to Google it. What is a huzz house? Huzz house is not a standard or widely recognised term. However, the word huzz is a slang term often considered with derogatory... Oh, no. Often considered derogatory, used to refer to women or a group of women. Oh! Oh! Yeah,
So,
it's a variation of the word hose that has gained traction through social media, particularly TikTok.
what is it with the French and just liking weird Instagram? Because it used to be Gasly. I just now completely one up.
Oh, bless him. We still like Isaac Hadjar. Because it's our sense of humour, isn't it, realistically? Isaac, if you ever want to come on the podcast, I'll happily replace Oheb with him. Sorry.
You know what? I'll accept that.
Yeah.
Because before, it's so weird because before Hadjar came in this year, I completely didn't rate him at all. Even at the start of the season, I thought, he's just nothing. And then he's put in such a good performance, and he's just a really likable guy.
Yeah, he's just funny.
Yeah. I remember in qualifying where Leclerc was really pissed at Hadjar because of the dirty air, apparently, and he said that he was doing it on purpose.
Yeah, and that was heat at the moment.
Yeah.
I think he's come out afterwards and said, yeah, it was heat at the moment.
And there's a clip of Hadjar making fun of Leclerc to him into his face. We're like, oh.
Oh no!
Brilliant!
What a legend! What a legend! Wow!
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Right. I think we've covered enough F1 stuff. Should we move off and talk about some non-F1 stuff? Because that's what people actually seem to come here for nowadays. We're just not an F1 podcast anymore. This is an email that I received, and I'm going to read it out to you, okay? The cheek of this email.
Ooh.
We do always put in the... it pops up on the screen. I don't know whether you watch the actual episodes of the podcast, but it does pop up, and you can send us emails. There is an email you can send,
I see
send stuff to. But I received this email, and I'm baffled. Part of me is actually quite impressed at the balls that this guy has, right? Here we go. Hi, I am Evan, and my best friend's name is Daniel. We're both your biggest fans.
Ooh.
You see, I used to kart all the time with my dad, and he got sick, and now I can't kart anymore. It's been 3 years. Did you just laugh at that?
That's pretty funny, I can't lie.
Oh my God. That's not the funny bit. I'm going to move on. It's been 3 years since I last drove in my kart, but I have found a new way to still race, even if it's not in person. You see, in 2020, before my dad got sick, why am I laughing now? This is bad. This is so bad. Oh, this is your fault. You've given me the giggles at a sick dad, and it's not fair. Jesus, right.
That's the best quote I've ever heard. You've given me the giggles about a sick dad, and it's not fair.
Oh, I'm going to keep reading. Right. Shut up. You see, in 2020... This isn't the funny part. Poor Daniel and Evan might be reading or might be watching this episode. They're not, because Talk Shift gets no one. But
right, it's a complete derail. Sorry, William. It's my fault.
Let me finish. I'm not even halfway through. You see, in 2020, before my dad got sick, my dad bought me a Thrustmaster T300 simulator to practice on since we couldn't go outside. And I've had the same wheel since. And now that wheel is pretty old and unreliable. And my mom can't afford to purchase me a new setup. And my friend Daniel is starting karting, so he can't afford to upgrade his setup either. Unfortunately, we live in different states, but he's my only friend who likes motorsports. This is the fun bit. Oh, I can't believe this. Anyways, I was wondering if you would be willing to purchase a new sim racing setup for both me and my friend. I would want a Moser R12 with some nice Moser pedals, and he really wants a VRS setup. I'll put the links under this sentence. What I want, with a link. What Daniel wants, with a link. Outrage! I mean, the balls on that.
I don't even care about your friend, let alone
You don't care about his dad, apparently. That's what we're getting in trouble for. That is what we're going to get in trouble for at the end of the day. We've lost Evan the fan. Poor Evan.
Poor
We're
Evan.
sorry, Evan.
Yeah.
But I'm not buying you your sim racing setup. I'm sorry.
You know what? For asking that, I think you deserve it.
Do you know how much the stuff comes to? I only looked at the Moser stuff. The Moser stuff on its own was about 400-500 quid.
Yeah, that's good.
And then Daniel
equipment.
wants a VRS set, which I didn't even bother googling.
A VR headset.
No, a VRS setup.
Oh,
I don't know what that is.
who knows?
I don't know what that is, but it's ballsy. It's a very ballsy email. If you do want to send us emails that just we know you may have it read out on the podcast, and we may well laugh at your unwell father. But if if you want to send us an email, I'll put the link down here. It's below me at the moment, and you can email us. That's going to be dangerous now.
Send us professional emails with real requests. That's all we ask for.
Yeah, right. Let's move on. I think that's a good sort of segue into fan art for this week. Not a whole lot of fan art this week. So for those uninitiated, this is our Discord server's job at this point, just to give us content and push the podcast on a little bit longer. There's the first one. Talk Shift, aka Talk Shaft. Talk Shift every week featuring a permanent guest from my £600 life and a proud member of the Osama bin Laden inner circle.
Yeah, I mean, so bin Laden, it was good hanging out with him.
Oh God.
It's been a little while now, so I do miss him. So it's good times.
Fucking hell. Have you shared any flying tips recently?
Shall we move on?
Yes. Let's move on. The next one. There we go. I think that's us in Fake Taxi.
You know what? I like it.
I don't. I really don't.
So wait. So I'm the guy.
It's quite realistic though, because I have got tits, and there's tits in that photo as well.
So I like how your viewers they're obsessed with saying that I'm the top in our relationship. Have you noticed?
Don't call it a relationship, man. Friendship. And that's a push sometimes.
Yeah, but either way, your viewers love to portray me as the top. So thank you, viewers. I appreciate it.
Right, we're moving on. You're definitely the top when I'm Humpty Dumpty, because that's the next one. So we made that comment last week. Well, someone has now turned me into Humpty Dumpty, and it's a bit of a short fan art section this week because the confessions have now also devolved somewhat into fan art.
I mean, you were the top until you fell down.
Okay, that's annoyingly good. That's annoyingly good, and I hate it. Let's move on.
What is that?
That is me and Lance Stroll licking a school bus.
For once, it does kind of look like you. For once,
it does. That's why I brought it up, because it's AI is clearly getting better, because that looks a little bit more like me, and it's got the right number of chins this time.
It's weird because AI is supposed to work well when there's a lot of content of you.
So this is what we're saying. We're just creating more content of me, and it's learning off me, basically. Yeah. Good. There is a caption with that. I just know both Will and Lance can tell what vehicle they are in purely by the taste of the windows. There's an undertone to that I really don't like, and obviously we cannot go any further into this because this is very much private information that will be revealed most likely in about a year's time.
Yeah.
But there is an extra element of that image that is very, very funny indeed and very, very coincidental.
I'm not seeing it.
I'm going to beep it out. The fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very coincidental. You can't have that information yet. Give it a year and maybe that will come out. I don't know.
But... After Will actually gets cancelled. Which, viewers, I will say he's on track to actually getting cancelled.
I came so close.
He is on track right now.
I came so close. It was the closest I've come since... I need to finish that sentence. It's the closest I've come since the IndyCar cancellation. Do you know this story? How I almost got cancelled back in, I think it was 2023 or 2022.
I don't actually.
Okay, so everything in IndyCar, right? Because it's America, gets a sponsorship. Everything gets sponsored. So when IndyCar head to the Alabama Grand Prix, that is of course called the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. Now, 2023, it was a year of low-hanging fruit as far as I'm concerned, right? So I said, and I quote, "Our children in Alabama, probably inbred." Not even that funny, judging by your reaction.
No,
no, but it was
because it's real. So how can it be funny?
Yeah, it's
it's true.
It's low hanging fruit. Would you like to know what the Children's of Alabama is? That is a children's hospital for the terminally ill. Now, I of course didn't do any research into that, so I was rightly lambasted in the comments for it. At which point I did sort of make my situation worse because there was this one comment, which I think I have now deleted, so you won't be able to find it because, yeah, the heat got a little bit too much. But it was all these kids that you're offending, how dare you? And I just decided to reply one night. I think I'd had a couple of drinks, in fairness. I decided to reply, well, at least they won't be offended for very long. And that was the line that got me in trouble. So, and now I've brought that back up. Yeah. But it was funny, like when we had the whole FOM dramas of last year, there were still people on Reddit that came back and said, I remember when he did this. Fuck him, I hate Will. I'm so glad this is happening to him because of that comment.
Wow.
So that's how I knew that that's the closest I've ever come to officially being cancelled. But literally about a year and a half later, people still bring it up.
But so the people from Alabama hate you, but they're all inbred anyway. So of course they're gonna hate you. They're
That's good. We've got them on side with that one. Well done. Brilliant.
They're all Southerners. They only watch your IndyCar content. So they're not gonna watch me. They'll probably think I'm a terrorist based on my skin color. So let them hate.
Well, we've seen the comments, haven't we? Should we move on and have a look at a few more confessions?
Go on then.
Right. Here's our next confession. Will asked for the pregnant man gift to be added, so he had representation.
Oh.
Now, there are a few replies to this one. Is this Will? With the pregnant emoji, followed by the second reply, yes. So I thought you might enjoy that one. It's very much slagging me off today. The fan art was slagging me off. The confessions are slagging me off.
People just like me, That's the problem. People just... I have no haters. I need some haters.
Yeah, we'll see. We're getting to that. So, next one. No, this is still on me, apparently. Whenever Will's hot... Oh, in fact, I'm not reading that. You can read that one out.
Whenever Will's
why did I say that? Why did
juicy face is on my screen, I come a little... It's just so squishy and fuckable.
I'm sorry, squishy. I've lost a chin this year. It's less squishy.
It's still pretty squishy, I can't lie. You look like a teddy bear.
I look like a tomato in this heat at the
moment,
to
obviously.
be honest. But a teddy bear. Great. Brilliant. Good. Nice. All right. Have we got another confession? Yes, we do. I think William and Soheb are gay for each other. What do you think about that? No. On your side of things, maybe. But no.
Never say never.
I'm moving on. Right. If Will was the same size as he is now on 9/11, it could all have been prevented. Yes, thank you very much. There is a common theme here.
Yeah, I mean, I could have prevented it if I spoke to my mates, but
Fuck, man. Jesus Christ. You were just out the womb on 9/11, bro. You couldn't even talk to your mate. That's why you couldn't prevent it, actually. Yeah. You hadn't gained the ability to speak. If they heard you, they'd probably just killed themselves on the spot.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's why. They saw me growing up and be like, you know what? I'm going to fly into a building.
How far in are we? We've been recording for about 47 minutes. About 15, 20 of those have gone into the Patreon version. I think we're safe. I think we're probably safe.
Let's hope so.
No, I think actually in reality, they would have taken one look at you and they would have realised, actually, you know what? The world's fucked enough as is. We don't need to do this. We can call it off, guys. So it is your fault. I'm blaming you for 9/11 now.
Yeah, okay. 9/11.
But not because of you, Race, just because they didn't meet you and they didn't realise that they didn't actually need to do anything.
Yeah, fair enough. I accept that.
Yeah, good. Right. Okay. That means we can wrap things up with your favourite segment.
What random Asian does Soheb look like?
So, the video's not playing for us. It'll be playing. I'll put it in the edit.
I was like, "What's going on?"
I've just got your face frozen at the moment with your reaction. Yeah. That's actually your reaction to 9/11. Funnily enough, when you saw that, you said, "Oh, my friends." No. Moving on. Right. So, the random Asian of the week. Well, there's a bit of a story behind this one because once again, as is the theme with this episode, it starts with me. This appeared. Someone tagged me in a story. I don't know what this is. Some Irish drift competition. And this is the person that finished in second place, and they've atted me saying, "This is me." Apparently,
it does look like you. Actually, it does.
There's a slightly bigger image. I can sort of see it.
I can see it.
I can sort of see it. He's got a better hairline than me, but number of chins checks out. Yeah. Basically checks out.
Well, he's
right?
got a lot more talent than you if he's competing in a live drift series.
Yeah, evidently. And by some of the arguments I've had earlier on, and I must have sounded like I've had a stroke at points in this. I don't know how I'm going to edit it together. Like, it's just so hot. I mean, I'm blaming the heat.
I mean, your face is looking wet. I can't lie.
Yeah,
It's very start of the episode.
it is.
I just thought, oh,
this is a waterfall.
You're gonna be shining today.
Anyway, where this gets to is this person then replied and said, third place does look a bit like Soheb, though. Would you
Oh.
like to see who finished in third?
Go on.
There you go. That's you.
That looks more like William's story than me.
It does a little bit. That's a whole extra episode about getting William's story on the show. I still have his phone number.
Is that
I
really
still-
what made your channel hit off? Getting William's
No,
story?
this is the thing. It wasn't. I thought that's what it was going to be. And I bet you loads of people have never seen this video before because it was literally the video before the one that popped off and got me my first 1,000 subscribers. Sorry, I've just looked at the Discord. It's on in the second monitor. Can you see what
No,
they've...
I can't see.
Lean over and just have a look. It's on the other monitor. It's just my face. They've just started posting pictures of my face in the Discord.
This is chasing you down the street. What do you do?
Oh, what? Is that what they're saying?
Run as fast as you can. Run as fast as you can. Jump and land cock in mouth or stroll.
They can't hear you. This is the one downside at the moment. They can't hear you. The mic is behind you, pal.
Well, I've made a vote on your behalf.
Great. Okay. I don't even know what the vote is. I don't know what it says. I'm gonna go to the Discord now, and I'm just gonna read it. Jesus Christ! You leave them alone for all of 5 minutes, and this is what they do. Like, for the love of God, right? So, given Soheb probably you didn't hear what Soheb said. This is chasing you down the street. It's just a photo of my face. What do? Do you A, run as fast as you can? B, run as fast as you can, jump and land cock in mouth, which is what you voted, or what I've apparently voted for.
What you voted for, not me.
Great, good. Or final one, stroll. And that's the only vote at the moment. So, fantastic. Right. I can't remember
That
where
means
we
it's
were.
canon. If you're voting, there's canon.
No, because you voted for me. I've forgotten where we were. We were talking about, William's story. That
Yeah.
was it. That's what we were talking about. Yeah, so...
Some of the viewers probably won't even know who William's story is by now.
Yeah, some of the Drive to Survive viewers probably don't. But William Story was the CEO of Rich Energy, who sponsors the Haas F1 team for about half a year before the
Yeah.
Haas F1 team realised that Rich Energy didn't have the money they claimed they did. And yeah, it was an entertaining one because I think we worked out that if you praised William Story on Twitter, he Googled his name and just liked and followed people that praised him and Rich Energy. So he's basically like me on Reddit, but worse, where I keep searching myself up. He would do that constantly. So William Story followed me, and I think he still does follow me. And then I decided, I'm going to chuck him a DM and ask if he wants an interview. And then he said yes. And the interview is still live on the FP1 channel.
It's actually quite a good interview, I can't lie.
It was the first interview I'd ever done with anybody, I think, or one of the first anyway. And I thought it was rubbish looking back at it. But I still have his phone number in my phone. Maybe one day we'll call him.
We'll get him on Talk Shift.
Oh, that's a shout, actually. Do we try and get William's Story on Talk Shift? He basically sat there and chatted bollocks about conspiracy theories for an hour with me.
Well,
But
that sounds like content.
yeah, it probably would be, to be fair. It probably would be. But
I mean, we can get him
yeah.
on. He can talk about how he's going to get. He has a secret plan to get into F1 next year. He's going to buy a team, or he's going to buy a Cadillac or something like that.
oh god,
Or he's actually going to. He's the new Alpine owner.
Rich Energy still post from time to time about
Yeah.
all sorts of weird shit about them coming back to F1, and we've all there was a point where we all actually fell for it, and now we're just like, yeah, come on, guys, come on.
I never fell for it personally. I thought it was complete.
I'm still
bollocks.
waiting for my Rich Energy. He told me that he would send me some Rich Energy. I think actually we sent him your address because I was too afraid
Yeah.
to give him my address.
Yes.
Because I slagged off Rich Energy too much. That's all come full circle now.
Well,
but it never arrived. Or maybe it did and you just stole it.
No, I never got the Rich Energy. I would have loved to.
Damn. Yeah. Hey ho. Hey ho. Right. So we've stemmed quite a long way away from the random agent that Soheb looks like. But
Yep.
there you go. Mateus Duren was your random Asian this week. And if you want to submit more, join the Discord server. You can put fan art in there, you can put confessions in there, and you can apparently vote in a poll about whether you'd run away from me or put your cock in my mouth on there. Which,
And for once, there's
Oh,
a
no.
random fat person that you look like.
yes, there we go. It's we can have a segment for both of us now.
Yeah.
There we are.
You have to make a new intro.
Yeah, I'll have to make a new intro. Yeah, I'm not doing that this week. There's still. Do you remember the trailer that we filmed for the Patreon version? I still haven't edited that yet.
Yes.
That was a mess anyway. So I don't know. Maybe we'll re-record that at some point.
That was a pile of shit.
Anyway.
We're a lot more mature than that. We've settled
Are
in.
we?
We've
Are
settled
we?
in. We've gotten stronger content for a more mature audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mature audience. God help the FP1 viewership come over here, because if they didn't like that comedy review, then bloody hell. But anyway,
I think you should advertise to them a bit more.
I've tried. I just get comments out saying, yeah, I'm not watching your shitty podcast. So anyway, if you have enjoyed our shitty podcast and you want to see even more of our shitty podcast, and in particular the outtakes and extras that were so shitty or so controversial they couldn't go into the main shitty podcast, go and check out our shitty Patreon, where all the members fund, and it is £1 a month, and you get all of that. It is about an extra 15-20 minutes per episode of just us rambling about random stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And Will's also his personal life that he can't get exposed.
Yes.
Because his girlfriend would not be his girlfriend anymore.
I'm not commenting any further on that. You can go and see the Patreon version and pay £1 a month if you do want to see the story behind that one. So that also, of course, funds him and keeps him here and gives him food and meal deals. And actually, you told me you were gaining weight, so actually maybe we shouldn't pay you as much. But
what? So you're gonna hold my money until I lose weight?
Yeah. I'm gonna. It's just controlling your calorific intake. So.
Viewers, if you want to control my diet, still donate because
we'll buy him salads.
Yeah.
We'll buy him salads.
The salads are a lot more expensive than meal deals. I can't lie.
You can get a salad in a meal deal.
Yeah, but
because that's what I'm on at the moment.
A proper salad. You're not eating salad.
I've eaten salad every day. No, I have had salads every day for the last 3.5 weeks.
You can fuck off. I don't believe.
I have. I genuinely have. I will. Right, I'll take a photo of the next one and I will put it.
Go on, then.
I'll put it somewhere on the screen. I'll now forget to do that. And anyway, right. Long story short, this is the longest outro we've ever done. Thank you for watching Talk Shift. Go check out the Patreon and the Members Fund and all this and the Pension Fund. I'm getting this completely wrong. Pay us £1 a month. Watch more Talk Shift. Like and subscribe if you're too poor for that.
Yeah.
And
do it on Patreon because we get more money.
Yes,
on Patreon.
we get more money if you do it on Patreon. I'm awful at these outtakes. I'm just going to wrap it up now. Have a good one, everybody.